Obviously, you all know who I am, Joe Burger of Record, and we are here with Derek from FirstList. So those of you who don't know, Derek is FirstList is an exclusive listing service that the brokerage has signed on with in a way and the idea is that it allows you to leverage an exclusive portal to put exclusive listings as well as a place where you can receive listings from other agents from other brokerages. And the good news is that it's all CREA compliant. So we're all doing this above board. And Derek is going to get more into it and show you how the system physically works and get into that. But I'm going to pass it over to Derek. Thank you, Derek.
Thanks so much, Fuji, and nice to see everybody here. I'm going to start by putting my email in the chat because anybody that kind of attends today, if you have any questions at a later time, please just feel free to reach out to me if you want me to pop into maybe a team meeting that you're doing with your own group and so on. We love to encourage the usage of the platform and help you out any way we can. So I'm going to do a quick couple minutes on just an overview of the platform, which I did on the initial launch with your brokerage. But then, as promised, today's training is a little bit more in depth in how can you actually go out and use this in interactions with your sellers to actually have it help you convert seller clients in your listing appointments, and what are some of the key tools, where to find them. I'll keep putting little links and such into the call notes here so that you can access those yourself. And I'm also going to add in just some tips on how to attract buyers as well, because we're all here as agents like to grow the business and offer broader services for our clients. So just going to start by sharing this screen here. So we, as a refresher, we are a fully compliant tool for sharing your pre-market listings and accessing other pre-market listings. And we are now live across your whole brokerage. Sean Lepp had been using it for quite a while with great success. And we were able to get the introduction to the brokerage and really thrilled about that. And if any one of you was to log in today, you're going to find there's already listings in there that are both in and outside your brokerage that you can tap into for helping your buyers, and an audience that you can use for your sellers. So the result of having access to a system like this is that when you're talking to buyers, you can really say to them that you've got listings that they will not be able to find anywhere else. And that's really powerful in helping you stand out, among the kind of crowd in the marketplace today, with the House Sigmas of the world really dominating search. And then on the selling side, it's about having some access to tools to offer alternate strategies to sellers, maybe in their pre-marketing phase, or maybe if they're looking for some alternatives to the MLS. I just forgot to mention, by way of my background, I'm a third generation residential realtor, sold for 15 years, now full-time at this. So I've been in all the buyer and seller consultation type scenarios, and this was all really the result of my own learnings as an agent, and kind of where I saw a big opportunity to help the agent community. So before diving into the digital coming soon and how to present that to sellers, the last thing I just want to show you is just because it's always important that everyone understands how this is meeting compliance with the CREA policy. So this slide explains all the listings that you can enter into our platform and how each of them would be shared so that it's in compliance with the RCP at all times. So essentially, there's 4 kinds of listings you can put into the system: new construction, which would include assignments; multi-unit residential; coming soons, which are within 3 days of MLS; and exclusive. And in all cases, you are completely allowed to share that listing with everyone in your office, your brokerage colleagues, as well as their clients. That is not considered public marketing, and it's not limited to 3 days. So any listing that you post will be visible to the agents and clients of your office. Where the system gets really interesting is that we allow some sharing between brokerage networks when compliant to do so. So the first 2 listing categories here, new construction as well as multi-unit res, those are exempt from the Realtor Cooperation Policy. Therefore, if you load one of those kinds of listings in, you're going to be able to actually broadcast it across to the outside brokers that we have in your marketplace, and you're going to receive their new construction and multi-unit res listings as well. The same is true for coming soon listings. And so anytime a listing is within 3 days of MLS, and of course it's the listing agent that's providing that information, they'll put in the MLS date. We're also going to share it at that 3-day mark across the brokerage network so that you can get that exposure on the listing. And then the final one is a true resale exclusive. So that's the most locked down under this policy, and that's going to remain in your brokerage at all times because there's no MLS date and it's not exempt. However, there's one way that you can compliantly share that listing outside your brokerage, and that's with something called one-to-one sharing. And I'll give you a little demo of that when we get into the platform, but we've built a tool that as a listing agent will present to you all the outside agents that have matching searches for that specific listing, and you can go down the list and one-to-one share. So you don't have to guess what agents you should maybe be sending it to. If they're in our system, we're going to be gathering intel on, where their client matches are, where their search area is, and we're going to present to you the best matching agents to share that listing with. So that's the framework of the network. And now I'm going to spend more time going into depth on what our digital marketing plan looks like, what that pre-marketing plan looks like, and how you can present this to a seller. And that we actually have a Canva template for this. So it actually explains the 3 phases, and it's got a spot at the top that you can drag your logo into. So I'm going to be sharing the link to this in the chat shortly as well. But essentially, when you bring this into a listing presentation, it's going to really help that discussion and show some depth beyond a single strategy of maybe just MLS or nothing. You've got this to offer as well. So the FirstList Digital coming soon is a 3-step process that starts with internal sharing. It then graduates to the pre-market sharing 3 days from MLS, and then the public launch, which of course is when you go to MLS and you hit the ground running. And so what that looks like in the context of everything I explained to you about how our sharing works, this just helps you see exactly what happens with your listing every step of the way. So at phase 1 is internal sharing only. So this is most likely an exclusive resale listing. You can put it in anytime. There's no limit on when you can put it in because our system will determine when to share it and where based on what you've inputted so that it's always compliant. But let's say it's 2 weeks from MLS. So it's going to go out in your morning briefing to the agents at your office automatically the day after you've posted the listing. It's going to go out automatically and instantly to any agent in your office that has a search set up for that specific area and that your listing matches. So if they have a client on a search, if they just have their own looking for search that's not tied to a client, they're going to be getting an email alert. And then you're also going to be presented with the AI suggestions for who to one-to-one share with. And I'll show you how to do that, but it makes it really simple to get that listing out there. Next, you have phase 2, which is your pre-market sharing. And this is as soon as that 3-day mark is hit prior to MLS. So the idea here is you've got this short window, but let's make the most of it. And hopefully you hit the ground running on MLS, but you also can generate some inquiries directly to you so you can help service those before maybe the unrepresented buyers find this listing on a portal like House Sigma. So at the 3-day mark, your listing will go live to all the agents that are in your working area from FirstList. So we're growing our network. We've got nearly 4,000 agents across the GTA. We've got several brokerages. And so anyone that has a working area that covers where your listing is, they're going to see it on their morning briefing or on their search alert. We're also now generating a social media post for you with AI that will go out on a coming soon GTA, X, and Facebook page with your branded sharing link. And so the sharing link is going to have your name next to it if you're the listing agent. It's any inquiries on that listing would actually come directly to you via an email. And so we're really just trying to show that if you simply post your listings, you spend the 5 minutes to post that listing in the pre-market, we're going to help generate some buzz, some excitement, and hopefully some inquiries on that listing. And then finally, you go live with that listing on MLS, and now you're hitting the ground running. You've got potentially some buyers at the ready. And the idea behind this is more reach should result in better results rather than just a cold start right here. Or maybe you get that one buyer on day one that's really interested, but you're not sure if you should work that offer or not. With the pre-marketing, you've got more insights, you've got a little bit more feedback on how your pricing is being received and so on. And that's why we see really like the teams that are putting almost all of their listings through our system are generally the biggest teams in each market, because I think they kind of appreciate that, you never know exactly which one thing is going to be the thing that sells your listing, but you put together a system that works and then you repeat it every single time and the results will follow. So we also recently were, drawing off a study that we found in the States where there's a similar program offered by a US brokerage called Compass. And they found that the listings that were pre-marketed through a similar process internally and then launched on the MLS were actually selling for more than the ones that weren't pre-marketed. So we want you to know that this is not exclusively a platform for exclusive listings that aren't going to MLS, even though you can market those in our platform, but it's also a really good place to just start the build up before your MLS and do that pre-marketing. So all of what we've presented so far happens automatically if you simply spend the time to post that listing. But I'm going to walk you through now what is the buyer journey with that listing, because this will also be helpful when you're sitting down with the seller so they understand. So the buyer, really, there's three phases to the buyer journey. There's the attracting them with the listing, of course. There's capturing their information and then nurturing them. And our system does all of this, and we may just need to help you optimize some of it. For example, if you want to use our website pop-up, that might involve another phone call directly, but I'll show you how to access it. But it's this simple three steps. And the more you feed the system, the more you're feeding this loop. And that's what we've seen regularly with the larger teams is they really try to get all of their buyers into the system. So they're constantly being nurtured through listings that can't be found anywhere else. So step one is attracting buyers. So like I said, if you just simply load the listing, we're going to generate a social media post that you can repost, but we're automatically going to put it out at that 3-day mark. And it's going to actually broadcast your sharing link. So it goes across the socials and then attracts people to a page like this. So that page is your sharing link, and it's got a sign up link at the bottom where that's unique to you. So if you're the listing agent, you're the one that's going to show up there. And anybody that wants to either ask you a question or follow you in FirstList is now going to be registering to join your internal network. And they can only join one agent. So it's really powerful to get that lead and then to continue to work them from there. Additionally, they might go to your website after seeing your name here and they're interested in just seeing if maybe you work the area that they're interested and so on. So we've built this pop-up that can go on any website, and it's just a line of code that you plug into the back end of your site. And then this is going to capture buyers that are visiting your site and offer to put them on a coming soon newsletter drip that automatically is featured and managed by our system. So you don't even have to be putting coming soons in. If there's coming soons in the area that your working area is drawn for, it's going to send these buyers those exact listings. So only at the 3-day mark, and then it prompts them to complete their profile if they'd like a more tailored experience, because this is only just asking for their name and their email. It can go on any website. That is a premium feature, and the reason it's premium is because the premium is when you unlock unlimited client seats and client dashboards, and so that's just like the one level up where we're going to help you nurture those. And then the nurturing just happens through a branded morning briefing that those buyers are going to see every time there's new listings that are worth sharing with them, and your name's going to show up right there next to all of the listings that come to them in their portal. So that's how we're going to help you to nurture and continue to strengthen those relationships and hopefully convert them to working clients. And so I'm going to now jump into the platform and start sharing some of the resources that can help you in your listing presentations when kind of approaching sellers. But I'll also just take a pause. Let me know if anybody has any questions. Please just unmute yourself and go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rolling here. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so just jumping into the platform. First off,
sorry, Derek. Give me 1 second, Derek. Helena says if you could just, when you're on the actual platform, if you can just slow down just a hair, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to start actually right from the start on the platform, which is probably where a lot of you are. Is okay. How do I even get access to the platform? Most of you should have an invite that you can search FirstList in your inbox. If and it has an activation link. If not, go to app.firstlist.co. I'm going to put this in the chat. And that's where you're going to sign in. And if you don't have a password, no worries. You can just simply put in your email address and click the send me a login link. That's going to actually, you'll never need to create a password, and it should save your login. So if you put in your email address like that and say, send me a login link, it's going to send it right to your inbox, and then you click that and you're in. So I'm just going to work around that and sign in with my Google. All right. So now it's going to bring you into a dashboard. And if you've never been in the platform before, there's going to be one step before this. It's going to be creating your working area. So working area it's going to be asking you to draw on a map basically where you service your clients. The significance of that is that you will only see listings inside your working area. So make it as big as you like or as small as you want. But if you're wondering, if it's a little bit small and you want to see more listings, you might have to make it a little bit bigger. I would just encourage you to really think, okay, where am I attracting buyers from? Where do I service my buyers? And make sure that it's big enough for that. While we're in here, in your settings, you do have the option to toggle your email notification settings. So morning briefing, I turn that on or off, all kinds of different alerts that are in there so that you're getting the tailored experience that works for you. So now that we got into the dashboard, you're going to see I have 214 listings available to me today. Keep in mind, that's not every listing in the platform. You're going to get more listings when you have more buyer searches in the platform. You're going to get more listings shared with you via the one-to-one. So the more you put in, the more you're getting out. So we're going to talk about how to prepare for a presentation with a seller. So what I would suggest is go to the sign up link here at the bottom, and sign up link is essentially the area where you're going to find marketing content and your direct link for any client that wants to join your network in FirstList. And the reason that's important is this is how you can kind of start the top of funnel to get the word out there about this platform for your clients. So the first thing is let's actually attract a listing appointment through this or a buyer appointment. So I would look at this email marketing link right here, click on that, and it's going to bring you to our digital marketing kit, which I'll send the link in the chat. So that's the digital marketing kit. And the very first thing I would do is grab this announcement that your brokerage now has FirstList and try sending that out. You could send that to maybe if you have a batch of cold leads that you haven't really been able to engage with for a while. But a lot of people send this to their entire database. I had a new team in Kingston about a week and a half ago send this to their database, and they had 59 buyers register in the first 24 hours. So it's really powerful if you have an engaged audience of past clients, and it's a really powerful messaging about standing out in this kind of competitive market. And so you just grab this email, it's already written for you, you can edit it, and then you're going to put your sign up link right in this part. You're going to embed it in the get access to off-market listings window. and you find your unique link, of course, back in the platform right here. So you would copy that, put that into your CRM, and send it out. And now anybody that receives that, we've seen it's usually about a 2% sign up rate in the first email blast to the database. So, do that math based on the size of your own database. But that's a great way to captivate buyers that want access to content they're not finding anywhere else, and sellers that might be looking for alternate strategies for the marketing of their home. When you get a sign up, they're going to show up over here in your contact section, and you're going to get an email as well. So you don't need to come in and check this regularly. You're going to get an email anytime there's something that you need to know about. And so this, your buyer is going to show up here. They will have already created a search when they created their account, and you can see their search, you can see their results, but you can also create new searches for them in here. So it's really simple. You maybe were talking with them after a round of showings and they wanted to try and search in a new area. You can set that up for them here, or they can do the same in their platform. Let's say you get a listing appointment. So, and you're preparing for that appointment. Back under the sign up link, which has the link to that marketing kit, there is the Canva template for the buyer and seller one pager. So that's right here. I'm going to send you the Canva template link. And the way this template has been designed is really to make it super easy for you to just drag and drop your logo into it, and then enter into your buyer or seller presentation with all the talking points that you might need to really sell the benefits of working with you, with the buy or the sell, because of this platform. So you can see it walks through the 3 steps of listing. It walks through what kind of listings a buyer might find and get early access to in the platform. While we're on this, on the buy side, this buyer one is really powerful in an open house. So think about if you're doing an open house this coming weekend, print that out, put it next to your sign-in book. You can, if you want to get extra creative, you can grab your QR code from the platform and actually embed that on the kit so that they can actually use it to register for your platform. And once again, when I was doing open houses, I would just ask a buyer on their way out, hey, by the way, what strategies are you using to find exclusive listings? And often that's like a really great kind of way to stand out for anybody that's actually currently, started their search. They're on the big portals, but they haven't actually engaged with an agent yet. So then going back into the platform, the other main piece that I'll show you is you can show sellers the analytics on previous listings that you've marketed in the platform. So there is an analytics button next to your listings. I know Sean Lepp and his team show the analytics when they're in listing appointments, because it's just like a powerful way to show that pre-market exposure and buzz that you're able to generate for those listings. These are just demo numbers for my demo account, but it would actually show you, okay, we had this many impressions of agents and clients within the brokerage. We had this much exposure outside of the brokerage. And then when it's actually when you want to share this with the actual seller, you can grab that link right here at the bottom to the report and send it off to the client. So they don't even have to log in. They can take in the analytics themselves. So those are the main kind of tools that we've got in place for helping support the listing. The next thing I want to show you is how to actually load a listing. And anytime you have any questions about like how to do a certain function in our platform, you can refer to our documentation, which I'm linking right here. It's docs.firstlist.co, and that's going to basically give you a step-by-step on every function in our platform, like creating a listing and so on, so that you know exactly how to do it, and you can provide that for your admin and so on. So back in the platform, to load a listing, it takes, like I said, about 5 minutes if you have a description ready to go. And I'm going to go under listings here and click my listings and then create a listing. And here, I'll just enter an address. It should pull it from like a Google API, and you just put in like the basic property details. And then the next two questions under listing details, listing category, as well as will this be posted on an MLS, those are determining how and where the listing will be shared. So it's defaulted to residential exclusive, but the other categories in there are going to be new construction in a development, which would make it exempt listing, and it would go right out across the system, and multi-unit residential, which would also make it go out across the system. But if you keep it as residential exclusive, then you'll pick, will it go to MLS? If you say yes, then that listing will automatically be shared 3 days prior to the MLS date that you input here. So you'll input that MLS date, and now it'll be exclusively shared inside your brokerage, and then 3 days before MLS, it'll automatically go out. Agent remarks are optional. You can load those here, but then there's public remarks at the bottom, which show up for all the buyer portals. You fill in the rest of the details, and then you can drag and drop as many photos as you like, and then it goes into a draft, and then from drafts, it goes live. Once it's live across the system, it's going to load up for your brokerage to see. And then once again, you can grab any listing from your platform and share it with a buyer that's not yet registered by copying right there. And there you have your sharing link right here that you can grab by copying, and then literally just you can send that by email or text to your client, and it's going to give them a nice public sharing page. You could send that off to your clients who's listing you're representing, because they may want to send that to others as well. So I'm just going to take a pause because I know we're at like 1:30 here. See if there's any specific areas that I might be able to go into a little more detail with. But overall, that's going to be the package in a nutshell. I'd say the main thing is to just get in there, try putting a coming soon listing in, try loading a client up on a search, try inviting a client, and you're going to see it's pretty self-explanatory and user-friendly from there. Any questions out there, Fuji?
Derek, I just said, when you send a listing link to a buyer who's not registered on the system, do they have to register in order to see the listing, or can they see it?
No, they do not. Yeah, it's a good question. So that's the public sharing page. If you've generated that one link, it's they do not have to sign in, and they'll be able to see the gallery of photos. They see the listing brokerage. They see your name, because if you whoever generates the link will be the presenting agent. And then they have the option to send you an email with a question, or even join your network by clicking follow you below.
Okay, great. And just one quick note for any of the agents who don't understand what the coming soon is about. So our MLS rules are that if a listing goes live and there's any public marketing on a property, whether that's a sign in the lawn or Facebook ad or anything, the moment that listing goes live, that moment there's advertising out there, within 3 days, you have to have the listing on MLS. No, right? That's the rule. However, FirstList allows us to advertise it on a one-to-one basis outside of the brokerage, and to certain potential clients that may be interested. So that's what this is about.
Yeah. I can't hear if the question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's just a question on our side, but basically for the other agents who ask, well, what if we want to show that property before it hits MLS? The answer is, well, you have to contact the listing agent and set that up.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I've included my email in the chat, as most of you have probably seen. If there's any questions or anything I can do more in depth on, I'm always happy to do these meets. Sometimes if I may actually have a video already created on a specific topic as well. So please reach out. We'd love to see you get the most out of this platform. Hope that it can help you with your buyer and seller services, and appreciate the feedback at all times. We also have just started our Instagram account, FirstList Co. So I'll put that in there as well. And you'll see kind of, we're going to start featuring agents and their success stories, just to kind of highlight different ways that that it's working for them. And if anybody wants to be featured there, we're going to give you actually some edited content that you can actually use. And we'll just really appreciate having you all on board.
Derek, can we see what it looks like on the buyer side as well? I know we did the listing side, but can we see the buyer side as well?
Yes, absolutely. Let me just share the Instagram here. So please give this a follow if you can. Okay, so signing into a buyer profile. I'll just create one. So what I'm going to do to create a buyer or invite a buyer is under contacts, I'm going to say, click the send invite button at the top. And so this will go to Derek plus, what's the date today? We'll just say April 8. So that'll be my new buyer email. I'm going to press send. I'll log out of this so it doesn't get confused. And now I'm going to be receiving an email from FirstList, and it says, you've been invited by a real estate agent, Derek Cooper, to join FirstList. So when I click that, it brings me to a sign up flow, and I continue with email. Oops. And create that account. Now it's going to ask me to confirm the following. So I'm confirming that I'm not in a contract with another real estate brokerage at this time, and that I have an intention of working with this brokerage whose network I'm joining now. That's part of the KWEn policy to ensure that there is an intention of a business relationship here. So when I click accept and continue, it asks me for my criteria. So I'll put leave the rest open and press continue. And then it's going to ask me where I'm searching. So I'll just do continue, put in the rest of my details. And now I'm in. So now what you'll see is I'm on a logged in platform view of everything that's in the network that's available meeting my criteria. And if I say I'm interested in a specific property, just loading one up here, you'll see it'll show it's listed by Keller Williams Realty Centers, but that my agent is Derek Cooper of FirstList Demo. So I can send my contact an email like that, or my agent an email directly. But you'll notice that the options are it's a very similar looking platform to what you have as access to as an agent, but it's much more streamlined. And then they can actually search your whole network, so they can see all the listings that are available to you as well if they want to see listings that are outside their search. And they can also create new searches within this platform. You can see in your area there's a lot of Sean Lepp listings, and so that's a good thing because you're getting to actually show them lots of volume of coming soon and pre-market listings, because Sean's team puts, I think, almost every listing through this platform.
Okay, awesome. And one more thing, you showed us a little screenshot earlier, or a little screen grab of a way to share a listing with other agents. I didn't see that on the actual listing though. Can you show that?
Yes, the one-to-one sharing. Yeah. Okay, so one-to-one sounds like my little guy just got home early, sick probably. So if I'm over in a demo account here, so under my listings, if I load up the actual listing details, you'll see a one-to-one sharing button right here. This is where you're going to find, you'll only see this button show up if it's an exclusive resale, because if it's any other category, it will have automatically been shared with all the appropriate agents. So because this is a manual process, and so we want to make it simple, but in exclusive resale, it'll say one-to-one share. And then you've got the list of all the agents, and they'll start from 5-star down to 1-star that have matching searches or search relevance for your property. And you could just go down the list and one-to-one share like that. That's going to get it over to their dashboard, and then their dashboard will subsequently share it with any of their clients if they have some. So really efficient way to get that out to them.
And for anyone who's wondering, the reason why there isn't a share all button is so that we can stay within Korea compliancy by hitting a share button a million times. But that's part of the process, okay?
Yeah. We'd love to have that select all, and you know we'll stay on top of any changes that do happen and make sure the experience can be as smooth as possible. We do have admin accounts on that note, so we can actually, if you have a team structure, we can create an admin profile. It's one of the premium services. Premium's $49 a month for a single agent, and then we have volume discounts for anyone that's kind of scaling up on a larger team. They usually cap out around $250. And what that gets you is unlimited clients. You get the website pop up for converting traffic from your website. You get admin accounts, and really just start using this as a lead gen engine in addition to the simple posting and accessing of listings.
And then just to flesh that out a hair bit more, the brokerage accounts, like all the agents in our office, if you're here with us, you have a brokerage account that is fully works already. If you want the additional features or the premium features, Derek and his team will set you up with those. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, the front desk is actually uploading your exclusive listings already. So when you upload them to Command, the front desk will take them and they'll put them on FirstList for you, and then email you saying, hey, by the way, we started this, but we need your photos and your description because those aren't typically in your listing. So if you just email, if you don't want to do the listing yourself, that's fine. The front desk will take over the listing for you. Obviously, if you want to manage the listing, send it to other agents, that'll be on you. But the front desk will be uploading the listing and assigning them to you from the brokerage admin account. So just take a little bit off your plate. They'll do that, but they do need the photos and the description primarily from.
Yeah, and it can start with just like a simple single exterior photo in some cases. And then maybe as this becomes, if it becomes a more common practice that you're pre-marketing the listings, sometimes you may end up taking like a few extra kind of professional photos in advance of the listing, or you actually build in the pre-marketing window with all the photos.
Thank you so much for your time, Derek. I don't have any other questions in the room here, but if anyone has them on the line, otherwise have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks so much. Bye.